Shit, man, I stay fit, man. You did? Yes, sir. And it's not tucked in. This is tucked in. Yeah, today, March 1st, 2025. Y'all gotta stop capping on me, man. The only reason I look overweight in that picture is because I had on like 3 sweaters.
Errol Spence has started getting ready for his rematch with Terence Crawford, as he shared on social media. Lately, there has been a lot of talk about the upcoming fight between Spence Jr. and Crawford, especially after the recent controversy between them. These two former welterweight champions have been making news consistently over the past few weeks, starting with Terence "Bud" Crawford questioning Errol Spence's Hall of Fame credentials.
Hey, man, we working, man. We working. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't wake me up from a run.
Nah, bro. Nah. Hey, going on vacation not bringing your running shoes is like going on a dinner date and not bringing your wallet, man.
Oh, man.
God damn, man. We wet, man. We wet up, man. And we ain't this one.
Next, Errol Spence took Crawford's remarks personally and challenged him to a rematch. Crawford, however, doesn't seem very eager for it, as his focus is on Canelo Alvarez. Still, in the boxing world, where Saudi promoter Turki Al-Sheikh plays a big role, almost anything can happen. A fight between Crawford and Spence looks like something Al-Sheikh would be very interested in. There are also reports that Al-Sheikh might plan their rematch as a co-main event alongside Canelo Alvarez versus William Skulkard. Meanwhile, Crawford's comments have reignited a rivalry that ended in one of the most brutal fights in recent memory. What started as a seemingly even matchup turned into a clear domination by Crawford, who dropped Spence in the second round and 2 more times before the referee stopped the fight in the 9th. Now, Spence is back in shape and training hard for Crawford, ready to face the opponent that kept him sidelined for 2 years. With Derek James no longer in his camp, Spence is relying on a new trainer to guide him this time.
Talk to Errol, I was like, man, I apologize, not for what I said, but for how I act. Because I don't believe in apologizing. If I really meant something, I'm not going to apologize. And no, man, don't worry about that. He said because 2 days before the fight, tempers rise, everybody's, sitting moist. So yeah, this is what it is. When you hear people talk about you, and then when you're in front of, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. I don't know nothing.
Not even a hint of maybe going to the rematch at 154.
Oh, I mean that part. I mean, I'm sure they already signed that or whatever. But I don't know anything about that either. But I just know what they talk about. You'll see him. He won't be.
From the very beginning, Derek James and Errol Spence were a close team. Whenever the former BWA Trainer of the Year spoke, Spence listened. Together, they enjoyed a long unified reign at 147 pounds and were just 1 win away from becoming undisputed champion. A setback against Terence Crawford in July 2023 was expected to be a minor obstacle, but it turned out to be much more serious. After his decisive loss, James filed a lawsuit against Spence for over $5 million, claiming unpaid wages. While the legal issues continue, Spence is searching for a new trainer. Edwards, among others, appears to be in consideration. Recently, the former #1 welterweight, according to The Ring, was seen with Edwards, sparking more speculation. Although Spence is open to the idea, the Philadelphia-based trainer is cautious and doesn't want fans or media jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get in this year. Probably October, November. Yeah, you gotta wait to hear from me. I'm looking for a coach right now. So
I'm gonna hand you like you're not people. And so, he said what he said, whatever. But and then even afterwards, he said, really, I'm just like, I shouldn't have.
Nothing has been finalized yet. Edwards told Mill City Boxing that they're just friends and nothing more. He was in Philadelphia on business and happened to train at the gym with Spence, but Errol hasn't shared who he plans to pick as his trainer. They only worked out together for a few days. Edwards didn't rule out training him, and he acknowledges that Spence could be considering him, but no decision has been made. Over the past few years, Edwards has built a strong roster of fighters, including Caleb Plant, Julian Williams, Keone Davis, and others. From afar, he's always admired Spence and is curious to see how he'll perform at 154 pounds. If Spence chooses him, It would be a real honor. Regarding his training, Edwards says Spence doesn't have many technical weaknesses. Their focus would be less on tactics and more on the mental side of the game, working on what's happening inside his head.
So yeah, I got a few names in the hat. You know, I'm out, you know, working with people and trying to see who I mesh with. And I had some news real soon. But I try to stay low as possible.
So depleted or whatever. I mean, you'll see, you know, that wasn't the issue. You know what I'm saying? Crawford fought a good fight. He had a great game plan, right? And so give it to him by his coach. So it's not like, I mean, you know, he was the better guy that day.
The boxing trainer was asked by a reporter about recent comments from Terence Crawford. The reporter said, Crawford shared some strong opinions recently. You've been a big supporter of Crawford as a top fighter, but I disagree. You see him as a Hall of Famer and #1 pound for pound. While I think he still has work to do and place him in the top 5 because of his weak resume. In the interview, Crawford said he doesn't believe Errol Spence is a Hall of Famer. Since Spence is Crawford's biggest win, the reporter argued that Crawford's statement actually weakens the trainer's point. The reporter also brought up Crawford's claim that Manny Pacquiao used performance-enhancing drugs, noting that Pacquiao stopped getting knockouts after Floyd Mayweather requested drug testing. The reporter pointed out that Mayweather himself has a controversial past, used USADA instead of VEDA, which allows test results to be sealed, and that Manny later sued Floyd, who settled out of court. The reporter argued that if Floyd truly believed Manny was cheating, he wouldn't have settled, and suggested there's no easy way to spin these claims.
Retired right now and be in the Hall of Fame, he couldn't. You know, like everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. You know,
do you not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame
right now? No, how?
Yeah, he's right, dude. He's right.
How? You know, like he fought in one division. You know,
he never unified the belts.
He unified.
In response, Breadman said, "I see you came at me strong because of something Terence Crawford said, but I'm not backing down. Crawford's opinion is his own. I think Manny is an amazing fighter, one of the best I've ever seen, and maybe my favorite from his era. But there was always some suspicion around his incredible run. It didn't help that Freddie Roach publicly mentioned that Alex Ariza gave Manny something, and he didn't know what it was. So Crawford isn't the only one who thought Manny might have used something, he's just saying it out loud." He added, "Personally, I'm undecided. Manny did sue Floyd, and when you sue someone, you risk exposing yourself because of the full disclosure required during the case. I've been through lawsuits myself."
He did unify.
You know,
IBF.
He unified.
IBF, was it?
He had 3.
Yeah.
He had the
But he
WBC,
didn't unify all 4.
WBA,
He wasn't
IBF.
undisputed.
Huh?
He wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, but what I'm saying is, they already called him a weight bully, right? He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. You know, he beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
Referring to Crawford's claims about Manny, Breadman noted that a fight between them never happened. He explained that Manny took a risk because if he had been using anything and the case went to trial, many things, like old test results or financial records, could have come to light. That made him hesitant to label Manny Pacquiao as a dirty fighter. He continued, "Okay, now you're bringing up the brothers thing. I didn't miss that. You all have a way of doing that, and I'm not sure what you expect me to say."
You know what I mean? That's a good win. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him or, you know,
I understand
things like that, but I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the...
He then shifted the conversation to Errol Spence, who might soon join his group of fighters. Now, let's talk about Errol Spence. You're right, maybe you're one of those people upset that I have Terence Crawford as #1 pound for pound. You think my opinion is weakened because Crawford says Spence isn't a Hall of Famer, even though Spence is his biggest win. You have a point, but it's not that simple. Let me be clear, while Crawford may be downplaying his best win, his view isn't the final word. Crawford doesn't decide who enters the Hall of Fame. Just because he thinks he's the best fighter ever doesn't make it true.
Crawford goes on an interview, states that, Errol Spence right now at this moment in time, with the accolades that he has, probably won't go to the Hall of Fame. You were talking about devaluing your opponents. What do you think about that comment?
Oh man.
Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame with the accolades he has now, first of all?
You know, I'm a big fan.
If Crawford said he was the best fighter ever, people would call him delusional. But because he has an opinion on Spence that fits what boxing fans like to hear, it's treated differently. Here's where I stand on Crawford's resume and Spence's Hall of Fame status. I think Crawford has a solid, though not perfect, record. He may not have a lot of pound-for-pound or Hall of Fame names on his resume, but he has faced several ring-rated fighters and former world champions, which is another way to measure a career. Crawford has been consistently strong for a decade, and in my view, none of his results have been controversial.
Of Terence Crawford's status in boxing, I get a lot of flack when I say he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and he's a Hall of Famer. And people always come at me and they say, damn, man, he don't have no resume. And I'm like, bro, he's special. There's a writer here in Philadelphia by the name of George Hansen. And around 2011, 2012, we was talking. And this guy's a pretty knowledgeable guy about boxing. And he was saying to me that...
Edwards then addressed Crawford's career choices, noting that he avoided some fights. I don't give him full credit for the fighters he didn't face, but I also don't hold it against him as much as I would someone who actively avoids available opponents. Crawford doesn't have any clear ducks. Some might mention Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz, but I wouldn't call that ducking. Regarding the Crawford-Pacquiao fight that never happened, Crawford never faced Manny while they were both at top rank. That wasn't really on him. He also didn't fight Danny Garcia or Keith Thurman, who were with PBC, but he did face Sean Porter and Errol Spence. I don't blame him for that either, because the PBC welterweights fought each other first, then Crawford joined the unofficial tournament. Top Rank did the same years earlier with Tim Bradley, Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez, Brandon Rios, and Mike Alvarado in a series of matchups. That's just how boxing works, and I can't fault Crawford for it. But at the same time, I won't give him credit for fights he didn't take either.
For Kell Brook, Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, and Sean Porter. He's an Olympian, and he only lost to one fighter, which was a great fighter. I don't know if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, like as soon as he gets on the ballot, like the Mayweather, Pacquiao, those kind of guys. But he has a reasonable shot to get in. If you look at the best welterweights over the last 40 years, he's somewhere.
What works against Errol is how clearly he lost to Crawford. Another factor is that fighters like Ike Carty, Marlon St. Viling, and Simon Brown aren't in the Hall of Fame. Some media voters might feel that Carty, Brown, and St. Viling are on par with Errol as fighters, and if they're not inducted, then Errol shouldn't be either. After looking at everything, I believe Errol still has a solid chance of being inducted once he's eligible. That's all for now. For the latest updates on news, highlights, events, and action in the boxing world, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel Boxing Headquarters, and turn on notifications to catch all our quality content. Until next time, peace.